She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done, we're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I'm excited about bringing today's guest in to the Children's Authors Alley. Christine Devane grew up in Massachusetts, graduating from Merrimack College in 2006 with a degree in English and a minor in elementary education. She earned her master's in elementary education from Merrimack in 2008. For over 13 years, Christine has taught at St. Augustine Elementary in Andover and Plympton Elementary in Waltham. She lives in Wilmington with her husband, children, and dog. She's volunteered and taught English in Costa Rica, is a member of SCBWI, attending conferences in New York City and Springfield, and has written a really fun book called Elephant Beach. And I loved it, and I am very excited about sharing it. So with all that being said, Christine, welcome to Word of Mom Radio.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me on today.
It is my pleasure. I would love for you to take us on your journey as an educator that led you to writing Elephant Beach.
Sure. So actually it started when I was very young. I enjoyed reading books, especially animal books. One of my favorite books was a biography actually on Jane Goodall. I was very sad to hear about her passing last week because I just loved reading all of the amazing things she did with animals. And originally I wanted to be a vet, but sadly I cannot take the sight of blood. So that path did not work for me. So when I was a teenager, I started working with children at after school programs. I started babysitting, and I found it to be very rewarding because I got to have a creative side and I got to see the kids learn, and it was different every day. It was fun. So then I went to college, became a teacher after that. And while I was teaching, truly enjoyed story time because all of the kids would sit on the floor. We would read a book. And most books have to do with social skills. So we had really good talks after and really good discussions, and kids loved sharing. And it was during these story times that I realized that there aren't a lot of books on shy kids. So I decided I wanted to write my own book on being shy. And that's when I originally joined that group that you're talking about, the SCBWI. So I joined their group. They have a lot of great resources. I went to the conferences and I joined critique groups. And from there, I just kept writing and working on my book. And it's funny, I actually didn't hear anything for a few years, and then last year somebody called me to publish it, and the timing worked out well because I have 3 kids, but now they're a little bigger. They're in school. They're 2, 4, and 6. So now I have a little bit more time to dedicate to the book and promoting it.
It's exciting, and you're in the thick of it. And this book, Elephant Beach, talk to us a little bit about it because it really is a charming book.
Thank you. So it's about a little girl that goes to the beach by herself. She's shy, as I was growing up, and she sees a group of elephants. She almost thinks they're annoying because they block the sun, they get sand on her towel. They invite her to play. She originally declines, and then after a little while, she decides to join the group and she has fun with them. So it shows shy kids that sometimes if we step out of our comfort zone and try something new, we can make new friends and do fun things together. Like, for example, they're in the water, and because the elephants are so big, they're making waves and she's surfing, which she wouldn't really be doing by herself. And then it also shows extroverts that sometimes it's nice to lend an invitation or a hand to somebody that's quiet, somebody that's by themselves. It's nice to go over and invite them to be part of the group. And they might say no originally. And you know what? That's okay because every adult, every child has a different personality. And it's just showing kids how we can try to work together and just be kind to each other.
I am sure that your experiences as a teacher have so much to do with the way you've created this book and the experiences with kids in your classroom. For you, how has it been? Because I'm sure you must have shared it with your students. How have they reacted?
So I'm actually not in the classroom right now.
Oh,
I'm home with the three of them, but I have done over 20 classroom visits because I still talk to a lot of teachers that I used to work with, and I still have a lot of friends that are teachers. So the book came out in April, and before school ended, we did a lot of beach theme parties. So I would go in, I would bring towels, sunglasses, a beach ball. We would have fun, read the book, talk about lessons that kids learned, and just make it something memorable that kids really enjoyed. So I tried to bring the book to life rather than just going in and being somebody that's reading a story to them. So the kids really liked that and they had a lot of fun with it.
the illustrations in the book are awesome. I would love for you to talk to us about your illustrator because it really just each page, they're vibrant and they're fun. And for me, I got absorbed into the picture and then got to read the next caption of I love the shade, because of the elephant ears and all of the other things going on. So it really just, like I said, I just really enjoyed it.
I'm so happy that you like the pictures and you like the book, and it's so nice to hear feedback. So the pictures actually were done by somebody at the publishing company, and what we did was I wrote very specific notes for how I wanted the pictures to look like, and then they drew them, and then we went back and forth because as specific as I might be, it's different when I see it. So, for example, there was a page where there was elephants. It was at the beginning of the book and there was a big blank spot. So I said, okay, let's add a sign there or let's add this there. And the elephants' outfits were tweaked a couple times. So it was really a lot of back and forth about how I envisioned the book and how the publishing company wanted the book to look. But I love how the pictures looked. I just wanted them to be bright, colorful. I wanted it to be a happy story. So that's why I wanted them to use a lot of very colorful pictures that would draw kids in.
And it does. It really does. And they're illustrations to me should be a story in themselves. And then there's the story. And in both ways, they complement the story beautifully. Why did you choose elephants as the companion for this shy girl?
So my favorite animal growing up was elephants, and my parents and grandparents would always bring me lucky elephants when they traveled. So I have a collection of elephants. And I've just always been drawn to them because they have such great personalities. They're very kind, they're very caring, they're very family oriented. And when I was thinking of a character that would be good for a children's book, I thought an elephant would be perfect because kids think they're funny because of their size, but they're also such warm and social creatures that I thought that it would be a great fit for the book.
I too love elephants. And to me, even though they were always so big, they seemed shy. They have that little bit of humility, and I don't think they realize they're as big as they are. I really
Yes.
don't.
I actually traveled to Africa 8 years ago with my husband and my mom, and we got to see animals out in the wild, and we saw elephants out in the wild. And it's funny that you say that because they are really big, but they're not like the lions out there making a ton of noise and stuff like that. They just keep to themselves. So maybe they don't know their size or how big they are, but it was fascinating seeing them and seeing how they really stick together and how the older ones take care of the little ones. And it was amazing to see that that's how they really are. They're very kind, caring, nurturing creatures.
Funny, I always tell my grandson, big takes care of little because he's 7 and his cousin, my granddaughter's 5. And I use the elephants. I said, remember when we watched the thing? Remember how the big elephants take care of the little ones? They surround that baby as they walk. They make sure that little is taken care of. And so I love that because they do. And I think that kids identify with that, especially younger children, where they're still being nurtured and cared for and taken care of. So, in creating this, how much of your life in the classroom do you feel kind of influenced where you want these books to go?
So a lot of my work in the classroom actually came through in the book because as I talked about before, kids have all different personalities. So almost every year you had a couple of kids that were very shy as I was, and I wanted them to be seen so that they could read a book where they see that it's okay to be shy and it's okay to want to be by yourself. And sometimes it's hard to join a group. And every year I got kids that were just quiet. So I wanted something that kids could read in school. And then, like I said, during the classroom visits, I've taken a lot of my teaching skills to my author visits where I bring activities, coloring sheets. The teachers always say, wow, now the kids are going to expect so much from all the author visits because you bring so much stuff with you. Because I really want it to be something special for kids and also something that can help the teachers out. So I bring a writing activity where the kids pretend they're at the beach with an elephant and what would they do with an elephant. And I think the top answer was eat a big ice cream, but it ties into the standards and reading and writing, and it's not just here's a story. So I've tried to bring my teacher skills with me to story times, and I've done story times at some books. I'm actually doing one at a farm next week. So just trying to make it fun for kids.
On that note, think about what Christine was talking about, it making it fun for the kids and bringing her education background into all of this. We're going to take a quick break, say thank you to our supporters, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Word of Mom Radio. She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA, and in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Christine Devane about her book, Elephant Beach, and her journey as an educator. My background was in education and I did theater with kids. And people would say to me, how do you do theater with a 5-year-old? They're not even reading. And I would pick 3 different stories and we would have story time. And then they would get to choose which one of those stories they wanted to bring to life. So we would keep reading it and they'd start bringing in costumes and they would create their dialogue. I never gave them a script, but you know how kids are when that repetition, and the parents, I would invite them in to watch the last class. That was their performance. We would do a song. I would teach them a song in sign language. We would do an adagio movement of just our arms where they would follow me, and then they'd get to act out their little play that they created. And it was amazing because, let's face it, they're sponges. So I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I love that you come in with activities. And I'm sorry, but it should up the game of other people that are coming to read to kids because they should be thinking about how this book is going to engage a child, the conversations that come up after it, the things that they like, what scares them. Some kids are afraid of the beach. Some kids are afraid of elephants because they're so big. So what has been your biggest challenge in moving this forward and the thing that you really sticks with you that was like, man, that was awesome?
So the thing that I thought was awesome was I went to a classroom and there was a little girl that knew I was coming and she wore her elephant shirt. And she was so excited to show me that she also loved elephants and that she wanted to wear her shirt because she knew that I was coming in to see her. So that was probably one of the best things for me, knowing that there were little kids out there that identified with the book and were excited to read the book and also enjoyed elephants. And the hardest thing is just getting the book out there for people to read and just the marketing and promoting of the book. That's a whole totally different side. And that's a little bit of a challenge, but it's been fun doing podcasts and story times. And it's just a lot of reaching out and emailing. So I do a lot of that at nighttime. I just email people that I know have story times. Do you want me to come in? Bookstore, same thing. So it's a lot of just outreach on my part to people. And that's the only thing that's a little difficult is just finding the time and finding the places to reach out to.
Let's face it, nobody teaches you this.
Yeah.
This is, you're learning as you're going along. It's different when you're in a classroom, you have a curriculum, you've made out your study plans, you create your lesson plans and everything else. In this, it's like, okay, and what's the next step? And it's great that there are things, podcasts. I love bringing authors onto our show. It's one of my favorite things to do because I love to read. And I use my grandchildren in our authors alley. They're my litmus. I'll read a book to them. And if they really like it, I know that it's a good book. And if it's lost their attention, they're not grabbing it. It's like, well, because they've been read to their whole lives and they have their taste and things. That's why, like I said, I love the illustrations because it complements, because your story, it's a good story. It's a good story. And what do you hope kids take away from Elephant Beach?
Well, I hope that kids understand that being shy it's tough and some kids just can't help it. When I was smaller, I didn't always want to join a group. I have two shy kids, one very extroverted child. My oldest is very much like my husband. He's an extrovert. He will talk to anybody under the sun. He has no problems making friends. My other two, they're shy and it's tough sometimes taking them places because sometimes they just want to sit with me and they don't want to join a group. And my middle son's 4 and he's kind of getting more into the groove of it. My daughter that's 2, she's starting to have a tougher time, but I just want people to take away from it that we just have to be patient and we can't change people's personalities. And we just have to kind of work with how kids are instead of forcing them to do things and making them uncomfortable and making them sad, because that's going to be things that they remember and it's not going to make them feel good. So it's better to just ease them into situations. With my son, I tell him, okay, if you want to join, fine. If you don't want to join, fine. Last year he played soccer. He barely played. He sat on the sidelines almost the entire year. And last week he played and he scored his first 2 goals and he was very excited. He was over the moon. Look at me, I did this. So yeah, I just want people to take away from the book that we just have to be patient and understanding, and being shy is not a bad thing. I think sometimes moms are embarrassed or they feel bad if their kids don't want to join a group or if their kids have a tough time. But for the most part, those kids are listening, they're taking everything in. They just don't want to share their opinions or thoughts all the time. I mean, my son I dropped off this morning at show and tell. I brought him with something and he didn't want to take it because he doesn't want to do show and tell. So we just have to work with them. And his teacher is very nice. She said, I will share with you. It's fine. We'll share it together. But all morning, he did not want to take anything because he knew that if he brought something in, he would have to talk in front of the class and share. But I did encourage him to bring something, and his teacher said she would help him. So, yeah, that's just the big message that everybody's personality is different. Everybody's personality is fine the way it is. And as parents, teachers, we just have to be kind, caring, patient. I mean, I know with my own kids, my older son, he would talk all day. So sometimes you have to say, okay, well, let's pause. let's have somebody else, because I have one that will talk all day and one that won't talk. And my younger one, she's little, so she's not as into the conversation, but we have to make sure everybody's heard, everybody's treated equally, and encourage them to have their own personalities without making them feel bad about who they are.
What do you want to say to that mom out there that is struggling with this right now? Because it can really be difficult, Christine, especially when you have that one child who is just right out there and comfortable with everything. And then you are, trying to give that child grace and space as they are learning, because sometimes just taking that time gives that kid the ability to think about what they want to do. They don't just jump in. And I think sometimes parents think it's a reflection on them,
Yes, I would have to agree with that.
as opposed to realizing that each person is different. My middle son was speech delayed, and it made him shyer, I think. And I said to him one time, I said, do you think that it's because you're afraid people won't understand you? He shrugged his shoulders and he said, well, maybe God just made me shy. I know. Yeah, that was the same reaction I had. I just saw your face. And I was like, maybe he did. And that's okay.
Exactly.
Because there's shyness isn't a detriment. It is part of who
Yes.
you are. And again, I think that quite often parents will push because they might have been shy and don't want their child to experience what they experienced. Guess what? Your kid's not going to experience what you experienced because it's not your life, it's theirs. And that's
Yes.
that's one of the things that I took away from the book. And just the fact that, in the end, there she was having a great time with her new friends on the beach. So as we're
Yes.
wrapping up, what do you want to say to our listeners out there, and how may they reach out to you, Christine?
So I would repeat everything that you were just saying. I think is very true, that there's no shame in having a shy child. And if your child is shy, that's okay. That's their personality. And you have to sometimes put yourself in their shoes. You might not understand it. I understand it because I was shy. My husband, not shy. So he doesn't totally understand it. So I have to say, well, sometimes you just have to take a second and think about how he's feeling. I could have kids over playing at my house and he'll be playing by himself. And my husband will say, well, why doesn't he want to play with them? And I say, I don't know. He's fine playing by himself. So I think there's room for parents to let kids be who they are and maybe suggest without pushing. So my son with the soccer last year, I brought him and he really didn't want to play. He sat on the side with me, but I still brought him and he watched the game and I told him, "Well, you signed up for soccer, so we're still going to come." And then it was probably the second to the last game he started playing and he loved it. And then like I said, last week there he is scoring goals. So I think if you give them time to really warm up to things, I think because he sat and watched it for so long, he was more comfortable this year playing, rather than if I forced him and I said, you need to go play right now. Look at all the kids playing. I think
Mhm.
that we just really need to have some patience. They are still kids. And just because they're shy when they're 4 years old does not mean they're going to be shy their entire life. So, just for all the moms out there, not to feel bad, not to be stressed out, and just really do what works for your child. And maybe it's baby steps and doing things with them. Like I said, my son too didn't really enjoy going to birthday parties. Sometimes he would sit next to me. Now he's fine. But I think that if you let kids kind of have some space, it lets them see what's going on and how they're going to go into a situation. Like I said, my older son, the extrovert, he doesn't do that. He just jumps into the situation. So the introverts, I think, take a little bit more time to scope out the scene, look at everybody involved, and then make a decision. And that's okay. So that's what I want all the moms and the teachers out there to know, that the pushing doesn't really help. And I know there's certain things from my childhood I remember that I did not enjoy. One of them was when I was called on in school because I did not like sharing. So when the teacher called on me, I would turn bright red and I did not like it. So when I was a teacher, I tried to stay away from that. So just be patient with the shy kids out there and understand that that's their personality, and pushing them to do things is not really going to change who they are deep down.
How many people reach out to you, Christine?
So people can go to my website. So it's Christine and then it's a hyphen Devane. And on my website, it has all of my information. It has a contact page if people want me to do story times. You can buy the book there. The book's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Archway. And then my Instagram is STINED13.
All of Christine's links are going to be live on wordofmomradio.com. I encourage you to get the book. It's a really nice book. It's a fun read. Your kids will enjoy it, and let them be. They're going to find who they are. Just keep encouraging them and love them, and you'll see, you know? So Christine, I thank you so much for sharing your marvelous book with us and taking the time to join us here on Word of Mom Radio. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on today.
It's been my pleasure. It really has. And for all of you tuning in, thanks so much for being here. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Sure of herself, yeah, she takes care of biz. Powerful and strong, yeah, she knows who she is. Has integrity, woman strong and true. You know her by name, see this woman is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Adds value and hope. Has proved to be brave. See, it's never too late. Never time to behave. Reaching for dreams. Doesn't matter the age. Believes in herself. Unleashed from her cage. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong.